buckle up. Welcome to Hannity as we begin with a Fox News alert. Tonight, we have huge, massive breaking news in our investigation into the investigators. I want to stop and say something. Between now and the fall, everything we have reported is true, and this is just the beginning of what will be a huge confirmation that we've been right all along, because breaking just moments ago, the Bruce Ohr 302s have now been released, and they are damning and revealing in so many ways. We have been demanding this particular document now for over a year, and finally, Judicial Watch, they have obtained these all-important records. For background, these 302s, what they are official notes from the FBI's interviews with DOJ official Bruce Ohr. Now, between 2016 and May of 2017, agents with the Bureau spoke to Ohr multiple times about his contacts with the phony Russian dossier author, the one that Hillary paid for, Christopher Steele, and, of course, his wife's research firm. They're the ones that, well, they put together the dirty dossier, Fusion GPS. Without any question or ambiguity at all, these 302s show that the FBI, Fusion GPS, who was working on behalf of the Clinton campaign, she was paying for it, Christopher Steele, the Obama State Department, the Obama DOJ, all of them working together to dig up dirt on all things Donald Trump before and after the election. The after part would be the insurance policy part. Think about this. The upper echelon, as I call it, the highest levels of our government and the Clinton campaign working together using their immense power, these incredible resources, tools of intelligence to stop Donald Trump one way or another. This is the single biggest abuse of power corruption scandal in American history. We got a lot of ground to cover. We'll explain it all in detail. It's going to take time throughout the hour. Joining us now with more, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. First, let me applaud you. You have, through Judicial Watch and Freedom of Information Act requests, you've done this country a great service. This is just the beginning. What I have read, and I have them all, hang on, right here in front of me, is damning and revealing on multiple levels. Why don't we begin to go through it?
Well, to start from the beginning, Christopher Steele had been working for the FBI during the campaign, and the FBI fired him because he was a leaker. So they went to Bruce Ohr, whose wife was working with Fusion GPS, after the election and started talking to Ohr, who was talking to Steele and Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS. And these are the reports of those discussions. And according to these documents, the first one they release, it's clearly referencing Steele, although they don't mention his name. He says that this person, presumably Steele, was, quote, desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being the U.S. president. So this is how it starts off, Sean, with this source desperate to keep the president out of office after he's elected. So Bruce Ohr continues to talk to the FBI and the DOJ. He confirms that Glenn Simpson at the Fusion GPS had been talking to the State Department. This information was going over to a State Department official, the Clinton campaign, and the FBI. Talk about a joint operation. Steele and Bruce Ohr are communicating using the WhatsApp application, that application that provides secure communications, which is, you know, if that doesn't suggest there's something wrong going on, I don't know what does. And frankly, the fact that Bruce Ohr is being interviewed at all repeatedly as a witness in this investigation, a DOJ official, why is he witness? He's working, of course, with his wife.
This is important, Tom. The fourth highest ranking official in the DOJ at the time.
Interviewed a dozen times by the FBI in this Get Trump operation. He's funneling information directly from Fusion GPS on thumb drives to him, including a thumb drive from his wife's research for Fusion GPS to get Trump. And they strip Fusion GPS off of the documents and he hands it to the FBI.
This is important. So he gives them the thumb drive, but he took away the fact that, yeah, my wife works for Fusion GPS. There's a lot of damning information here, not only for Bruce Ohr, Nellie Ohr, Christopher Steele, but also Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS. Let's slowly keep going through the information that is in here.
Glenn Simpson confirms that he was directing, or confirms that Glenn Simpson was directing leaks from Fusion GPS to the Mother Jones and other publications. You have Bruce Ohr working for the FBI and trying to set up continued communications back with Christopher Steele. Remember, Steele had been cut off, and the FBI is using Ohr to try to convince him to meet with them, and they try to meet with him in the United Kingdom, these documents show. You have Bruce Ohr acknowledge that his wife knew that she was working on behalf of the Clinton campaign in conducting this investigation for Fusion GPS. And the FBI, Christopher Steele, goes to Bruce Ohr, and he's worried about his business, and he's creating a proposal to work with the FBI again. And again, Ohr is the intermediary here. The details about the State Department communications showing that Simpson was talking to a top State Department official under Obama repeatedly, Victoria Nuland. So this is top levels at the State Department working with the Clinton campaign operative on this Get Trump effort. It shows you the broad nature, unprecedented nature, secretive nature, corrupt nature of the investigation targeting Trump that involved the FBI, the DOJ, and the State Department. And, you know, when you look at the corruption as it's described here, because it is corruption, then you have to step back and recognize none of this was told to the FISA courts as they're authorizing spying based on this garbage to, in unprecedented spy warrants targeting President Trump.
We also know from Bruce Ohr's previous notes that had been revealed that Steele, after he's fired for lying and leaking, was still trying to funnel information to hurt then President-elect and President Trump, well, I guess at that point President, to Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Now, we haven't gotten any confirmation beyond the fact that they're in Bruce Ohr's notes, but it would seem to fit. So what we have is a nexus here of Fusion GPS, Glenn Simpson, Clinton campaign funding. We have John Solomon's reporting that the FBI determined in early 2017 at some point that over 90% of the Steele dossier was garbage and not true and not verifiable. But we also know it's unverifiable because in an interrogatory in Great Britain, we know Steele didn't stand by his own dirty dossier. But yet all of this information, and you see a desperation, and you see, again, more acknowledgement. Oh, yes, Steele had an agenda. He hated Trump. OK, Hillary hates Trump. Nellie Ohr is digging up dirt on Donald Trump. And together, they're all working, and Bruce Ohr is in the middle of this. What do you think the impact is specifically on Bruce Ohr? Because he's now only been, what, demoted how many times?
Well, you know, Bruce Ohr, the initial impression one had of Bruce Ohr is that he was a receiver. He was just a receiver and a conveyor of information. These documents show he was an active participant in the effort to get Trump. We have other documents we've uncovered from the State Department showing he was working with State Department officials to get allegations against Trump and Russia going. And obviously, he was conflicted in 6 ways to Sunday because of his wife's professional relationship with Fusion GPS. Another big point that we should mention is that Bruce Ohr confirms in these FBI reports that Steele told him he met with a McCain staffer in October of 2016, obviously about the dossier. And just before Mueller was appointed, as these meetings that the FBI was trying to set up with Steele, that's when all that was coming to a head. Just days before Mueller was appointed, the FBI is desperate to meet with Christopher Steele in the United Kingdom. And you have to wonder if Mr. Mueller, and I suspect he did, as you point out, took up the baton and continued his working relationship with Fusion GPS.
Stay right there. Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch.